My husband did not cheat on me. He did not shout. He did not storm out. He simply stopped being there, and I didn't notice for 2 years. For 2 years, I slept beside a man who had already left me in his heart. I thought we were stable. I thought we were calm. I thought we were mature. But calm is not always peace. Sometimes it is distance. Sometimes it is someone slowly packing their feelings while you are still planning holidays. The day I found the folder on his laptop, I realized something terrifying. He was not deciding whether to leave. He had already decided. And that was the day everything changed. My name is Anna. I am 38 years old. I have been married to Daniel for 11 years. People said we were a solid couple. No drama, no big fights, no scandals. At dinner parties, friends would joke about their dramatic marriages, the screaming matches, the jealous accusations, the slammed doors. Daniel and I would smile at each other across the table, quietly superior, thinking we had figured something out that they had not. Daniel was quiet, always quiet. He worked, came home, ate dinner, watched TV, and went to bed. Routine. I used to think that was stability. When friends complained about jealous husbands or loud arguments, I felt lucky. Daniel never raised his voice. He never said no. He never demanded anything. He never made me guess what he was thinking. At the time, I thought that meant he was content. Now I understand something different. He had already stopped asking. He had stopped trying. The first change was small, so small I almost missed it. He stopped telling me about his day. If I asked, "How was work?" he would say, "Fine." That was it. Before, he would mention a client, a project, a funny moment with a coworker. Not long talks, but something, a window into his world. Now, nothing, just fine, and then silence. I thought he was tired, stressed from work, going through a phase. Then he stopped touching me unless I reached first. No random hand on my back when he walked past me in the kitchen. No small kiss on my shoulder when I was cooking. No fingers intertwined when we sat on the couch. Not cold, just neutral, like I was a roommate, not a wife. I told myself, this is what long marriages look like. Everyone said the passion fades, that comfort replaces excitement, that quiet companionship is the goal. I was wrong. This was not comfort. This was absence. We did not fight. That was the strange part. If I complained, he agreed. If I criticized something, he nodded. If I made plans, he said, "Whatever you prefer." At first, it felt easy. No resistance, no tension, no exhausting negotiations about where to eat or what to watch or whose family to visit for the holidays. I made the decisions, he went along. Simple. But slowly, it felt like talking to a wall, like shouting into a canyon and hearing only my own voice echo back. One night, I said, "Do you ever disagree with me?" He smiled slightly. "Not really." I laughed. I thought it was a compliment, that we were so in sync we didn't need to argue. Now I know that was not peace. It was withdrawal. He had stopped caring enough to disagree. One Saturday, I walked into the study room. Daniel quickly closed his laptop. Too quickly. The movement was sharp, defensive. It was the first time I saw something sharp in his eyes. Not guilt, fear. "What were you doing?" I asked. My voice was light, curious, not accusing. "Nothing important." He stood up, left the room, his coffee cup still steaming on the desk. That stayed with me. All day it nagged at me. What could he be looking at that he didn't want me to see? Was it another woman? Was it gambling? Was it something worse? Later that night, when he was in the shower, I checked the laptop. I was not proud of that, but something felt wrong. Something had shifted. There was a folder on the desktop, private, password protected. Daniel had never hidden things before. Our finances were shared. Our emails were open. Our lives were transparent. Or so I thought. That was when I felt it clearly. Not anger, not jealousy, but distance. A wall I had not known was there. After that, I watched him differently. He was home, but not present. He would sit beside me on the couch, scrolling on his phone, his body near mine, his mind somewhere else. I tried to reconnect. "Let's go away next month," I said one evening. "Just the two of us, no work, a real vacation." He hesitated, looked up from his phone. "I'm busy." Busy doing what? He did not explain. He went back to scrolling. That night, I lay awake beside him, listening to him breathe. I realized something painful. I did not know what my husband was thinking, what he wanted, what he felt, and maybe I had not known for a long time. I had stopped asking, or maybe he had stopped answering. Either way, we had become strangers sharing a bed. 2 weeks later, he forgot to log out. The folder was open. I stared at the screen, my heart pounding. Inside were documents, apartment listings, one-bedroom places, small, affordable, close to his office, rental prices highlighted, move-in dates circled. There was also a file titled Separation Timeline. My hands started shaking. I opened it. Bullet points. Organized. Clinical. Savings amount needed, $8,000. Currently at $6,200. Legal steps. Consultation with lawyer, completed. Estimated divorce costs, $3,000 to $5,000, uncontested. Timeline, 3 to 4 months. It was planned, not emotional, not impulsive. Careful, methodical. He was not thinking about leaving. He was preparing. I sat in that chair for a long time. The sun moved across the floor. The house silent around me. He had been saving money quietly, transferring small amounts every month. $200 here, $300 there. I had never noticed. Why would I? We had separate accounts for personal spending. I trusted him. He was researching divorce laws, reading articles about amicable separation and co-parenting after divorce. But we don't have children. There was even a note at the bottom of the document. Wait until she seems stable. Don't blindside her during a stressful work period. Stable. Like I was something fragile he needed to manage. Like I was a problem to be solved with the right timing. I felt something break inside me. Not rage, not hysteria, just a deep, cold understanding. He had already stepped out of the marriage. I was the only one still inside, still trying, still planning our future, while he was planning his exit. That evening, I did not scream. I did not cry. I waited. I made dinner like always, set the table, poured water. When he came home, I said, "Daniel, we need to talk." He looked at me, and I knew he knew. "You opened it," he said quietly. Not a question, a statement. "Yes." Silence. Heavy. Final. "How long?" I asked, my voice surprisingly steady. He did not pretend. He did not make excuses. "About a year." A year. He had been planning to leave me for a year, sleeping beside me, eating dinner with me, saying goodnight, kissing my forehead on Sunday mornings. A year of pretending. "Why?" I asked. He looked tired. Not angry, not defensive, just tired, worn down. I feel invisible, he said. That word hit me like a physical blow. Invisible? I do everything right, I said. I support you. I built this life with you. I know, he said softly. That's the problem. I did not understand. You don't need me, he continued. You manage everything. You decide everything. You fill every space. He paused, looked at me directly. When was the last time you asked what I wanted for dinner, what I wanted to do this weekend, what I thought about anything that mattered? I opened my mouth, closed it. I could not remember. I stopped fighting for space, he said. It felt easier to disappear. Disappear. While sitting at my table, sleeping in my bed, standing in my kitchen. I replayed our marriage in my head. How often did I interrupt him, finish his sentences because I already knew what he was going to say? How often did I correct him? Small things, the way he loaded the dishwasher, the way he folded laundry, the route he took to the grocery store. How often did I say, "It's fine, I'll handle it," when he offered to help? I thought I was being strong, helpful, efficient, capable. But maybe I was taking all the air. Maybe I was so busy being competent that I left no room for him to be necessary. Why didn't you tell me? I asked. I tried, he said. You were always busy fixing things, planning things, improving things. That hurt, because I knew it was not completely false. But leaving? Planning quietly for a year? That was easier than fighting for space, he said. You're so capable, Anna. You don't need anyone, least of all me. We sat there for hours. No shouting, no accusations, just truth. Hard, uncomfortable, necessary. I didn't cheat, he said. I just stopped feeling like your partner. I believed him. That almost made it worse. This was not betrayal in the traditional sense. It was erosion, slow, silent, invisible until it was almost too late. I haven't signed anything yet, he added. That surprised me. Why not? I kept hoping you would notice. Notice what? That he was fading? That he was disappearing right in front of me? I had mistaken his silence for contentment, his compliance for agreement, his withdrawal for maturity. For the first time in years, I did not defend myself. I did not explain. I did not correct. I just listened, really listened. He talked about small things, how I made decisions without asking him, how I planned our vacations without checking if that's what he wanted, how I finished his sentences, how I answered for him at parties, how I managed our social calendar like he was my assistant, not my husband. I started to feel like a guest in my own life, he said, like I was watching you live and I was just there. I never meant to hurt him. I never meant to make him feel small. But intention does not erase impact. I don't want to disappear, he said. I just want to exist. That sentence changed everything. For the first time, I saw my husband clearly, not as quiet, not as passive, not as easygoing, but as someone who gave up trying to be heard, someone who learned that silence was easier than fighting for space in his own marriage. We did not divorce, not yet. We did not fix everything in one night either, but we started something harder. We created space, real space. I began asking, "What do you think?" and waiting, really waiting, not jumping in with my opinion, not finishing his thoughts, just waiting, listening. He began speaking, slowly, carefully, testing whether I would really hear him. Some days are awkward, some days are heavy. We argue now, real arguments, about what movie to watch, about where to go on vacation, about how to spend money. It is uncomfortable, but he is present again, and so am I. If you ask me now what almost destroyed us, it was not cheating, it was not hatred, it was silence. Silence can feel peaceful, but sometimes it is someone slowly leaving. I thought a good marriage meant no conflict. Now I know better. Sometimes love requires noise. Sometimes it requires discomfort. Sometimes it requires making space for someone else to exist, even when you're used to filling every corner. Because the most dangerous husband is not the angry one, it is the silent one, the one who stops asking, the one who stops fighting, the one who quietly plans his exit while you plan your future. And sometimes the loudest mistake is the silence we allow to grow. Thank you for listening to this story. If it touched your heart, please like the video, share it, and subscribe to Story Reading in English channel. Your support helps more stories reach people like you. With every story, our English gets better and our hearts get stronger.